The real estate market sucks. The bold statement. This is Peter Merrick in La Jolla, San Diego, California. And I can talk on this subject not as a agent, as someone who is a buyer of real estate, someone who leases properties out, and someone who is looking for properties. I sold my house in Toronto when I left Canada and I came to California. And my house proceeded to go up several hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now the person who bought my house is underwater. It's worth less than I sold it for in the summer of 2020. You want to know what's really interesting? How did real estate agents become essential workers during a pandemic? It's a perfect storm. Interest rates went to the lowest level that they had been recorded for 30-year mortgages in the United States. There was a huge amount of people in flux. Builders started building millions of homes across the United States. There are currently 1.7 million new constructions, the highest in recorded history. In cities like Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Austin, lay ghost towns of spec homes built by Lennar and Hortons and hundreds of other builders who just sit there with these homes that there are no buyers to buy. Homes in California, in San Diego specifically, are falling out, meaning that people are putting offers in, but when it comes to financing, they can't because the cost of carrying a mortgage is now 3 times higher than it was during the low of interest rates during the pandemic. You know, when you buy a property for investment purposes, you have to look at the rent rate. And what is that? That is what the rate is that the home would rent for. Well, if the average person puts down 20%, the rent rate's going to be quite high. And usually now, people who are buying these investment properties, they're finding that they can only get 70% of the rent rate. They're underwater. They are losing money. And when you can go to the federal government, you can get 3.5, 4 or 5% on your money with no risk. Why would you hold an investment property? I'm in La Jolla, San Diego, and it zip code is 92037. 49% of all properties purchased in La Jolla were by investors. Hear that, investors. What's the industry here? Biotech and technology. It is a very expensive city. Now, every tech worker in the economy produces 5 spin-off jobs. What happens when the tech industry starts laying people off? You're seeing this first at Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, and it's filtering out through the entire economy. So, is it time to buy a home? Well, I'd say no. Why do I say that? Because we also experienced during this downturn foreclosures declined because the government told the lenders that they could not foreclose on people who were delinquent on their payments. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. Millions and millions of people, because of the cost of inflation and losing jobs, are on the verge of losing their homes. Property taxes have gone up. We're going to see a downturn that we've never seen before. And I know people said real estate never goes down. It's the greatest investment in human history. And that, yes, that is the case, provided that you have a demographics that can support it. And 60% of all real estate is owned by baby boomers who are a shrinking part of the economy every single day. They are no longer producing, they are in mass retirement. and they are unloading assets, no longer accumulating them. There are over 20 million homes that are second homes that lay empty. What happens when these baby boomers who own the vast majority of the second homes decide that they are going to liquidate those assets and they all flood on on the market at the same time? I'll tell you what you see. You see a glut of homes. People say real estate goes up. Well, they haven't studied the 40s and the 50s when real estate prices dropped and just stagnated. Nobody was purchasing homes, and the price drastically dropped. As I mentioned before, there are millions of homes sitting outside of major metropolitan areas that were built at a record rate. And if you drive around those streets, you're going to see thousands and thousands of homes lay vacant with no buyers and no one coming. They're building these homes for the spring that's coming in March because they're hoping that it will return to normal and buyers will show up. Well, the prices haven't dropped. Of course, you can sell things provided that there's a price point. But if homes have increased by 40% by the cost and interest rates have more than tripled, very few people. I was reading 25 million Americans were priced out of the market. And it doesn't matter if the prices drop 5, 10%, they still can't purchase a home. I also found it very disturbing that Wells Fargo, who was the largest lender for mortgages throughout the United States, decided to stop. They're only giving mortgages out to current customers. They're no longer looking for additional customers. They know. Many of the lending institutions who have been giving out mortgages, they're laying off their employees by the thousands. iBuyer programs have stopped. And that leads to why I'm making this video. We are going to experience things that we've never experienced before. And the only things not known is a history not studied. And you can go through human history and you'll see that there are bubbles and there are busts. And I leave this with you. If you have not read Mackey's book, Madness of Crowds, you will make mistakes because in this book he talks about humans who buy into fluff, into bullshit, and pay the price. And this has happened again and again. The tulip mania, the South Sea bubble. If you don't know these, study it because you have the ability to make a difference. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please share, please like, make a comment. And again, these are just my opinions from my personal observation with my five senses. Have a wonderful day.